Hi, I'm Kieran Turnbull, and this is Cooking with the Turnbulls. And today, we will be demonstrating a fine dining experience that anyone can have at a low price.
Hi, I'm Quincy Turnbull, and this is Cooking with the Turnbulls. We chose our meal here today because it was affordable and healthy. All of these three main ingredients cost only $7, so this is a meal you can make at home for a very cheap price. Also, the steak here is a complete protein, which has all amino acids essential to life. These two vegetables here also have a diverse range of nutrients that they contain.
So there are many health benefits of eating healthy, and one of the health benefits is you won't be obese. So a lot of people that eat really unhealthy in America become obese and gain diseases such as type 2 diabetes, which then can lead to the loss of limbs. And eating healthy like this prevents obesity and puts you on the right track to having a more healthy life.
The ingredients for our meal are 1 stick of butter, 1/4 pound of green beans, 1 cup of cheap round steak, 3 large potatoes, extra virgin olive oil, salt, and pepper.
So some nutritional facts about our different ingredients. Our steak has a lot of fats and proteins, which are 2 essential nutrients. Steak is a complete protein having all the essential amino acids that our body does not produce, and these proteins are vital for every body part. 1 cup of the green beans has 30% of your daily vitamin C and includes 13% of your daily fiber. Green beans are also very low in polyunsaturated fats and do not have any saturated or monounsaturated fats. Potatoes are high in vitamin C with 70% of your daily allowance and 30% of your vitamin B6 allowance. They are also high in carbohydrates and low in fats. Milk has 10% of your daily potassium, 30% of your daily calcium, vitamin A, B, sodium, magnesium, and cholesterol.
So, what could we do to make our meal healthier? So, we could cut off the excess fat from our steak around the edges. We could also change the steak to a healthier meat that isn't a red meat, such as chicken breast, or even to a fish like salmon. We could also use less butter on our vegetables, and we also use a lot of salt and pepper. We could also use margarine instead of butter because margarine is healthier. And we could use fat-free milk instead of the 2% milk we are using. We could also add whole bread to our meal so that we can have more carbohydrates in a healthy form. Okay, make sure to wash your hands. Make sure to rub it in before you start. Get those suds. Suds trap the germs. And then dry your hands. That's the most important part. Don't wash your meat, because if you wash your meat, you can get germs in your sink. First, we want to tenderize our meat, because it breaks down the proteins in the meat and makes it less tough. Because it's a cheap steak, and cheap steaks are tough. Give it a nice pounding.
So after preparing the meat, you want to make sure that you prepare the vegetables as well. So what you're going to want to be doing with these vegetables is you're going to be wanting to wash them off to get rid of any of the germs that could possibly be on them after they are packaged and shipped to you. So what you want to do is you want to keep these vegetables away from the meat, and also you want to be washing your hands after you dealt with the meat because some of those germs could have cross-contaminated onto the vegetables. So first you want to turn on the water, and then you just want to give it a good soak in every single spot and make sure all of the germs and bacteria are off.
Make sure to keep your washed vegetables away from your meat to avoid cross-contamination. Peel your potatoes before you boil them. Put your green beans in the boiling water for 3 to 4 minutes. That wasn't safe at all. Pour your green beans into a drainer in the sink. Ready?
Mm-hmm.
Salt your meats. Just put a lot of salt on.
So once you've gotten your green beans out of the boiling water, you want to put these potatoes in this boiling water for around 15 minutes.
Yeah, while we're waiting for the potatoes to finish cooking, we're gonna wash the salt off the meat. It has been sitting for about 30 minutes because we have a pretty thin piece of meat. Just gonna wash it. Try to keep it in the middle of the sink. The salt has been tenderizing the meat. So we're just gonna get rid of that and put it on a new plate that isn't salty. Pro tip, dab your steaks after you wash them so that they're not as wet. Because if they're wet when you cook them, they'll have a lot of smoke and they won't be as crispy on the outside. Yeah, go.
So once your potatoes are done, you should be able to stab a knife through them with ease, because if they're hard to stab, they're too starchy and not cooked long enough. So once the potatoes are done, you want to pick them up and do a similar process like the green beans and put them in a drainer, and then you'll be good to go.
Okay, cool. Ready? Okay, so pro tip, once you have your potatoes, you can just put them back into the pan you cooked them in to mash them instead of using an extra bowl. So take your mashed potatoes and take some butter and then take some milk and mash those up.
So what you want to do when everything else is done, we have our final step, making the steak. So what we're going to want to do is we're going to want to heat the grill up first. And once the grill is at a reasonable temperature, we just put these steaks on. And let them sit until the other side of the steak looks nice and brown, and then you flip it. Now that we're done with our meal, we put them on the plate in this artistic arrangement. And with this meal, it will help you take a step forward in eating in a more healthy way and living a more healthy life.
Right. So eating healthy, there's a lot of benefits to eating healthy, like this. If you eat healthy, you'll have a much better time maintaining your weight. And when you maintain your weight and don't become obese, you are much less likely to get things like type 2 diabetes, which can lead to limb loss and other severe health complications. So maintaining a healthy body weight begins with eating healthy.
Bon appetit.